Hello there.
Hello.
Pardon me. I'm out going for a walk because I wanted food and drink.
Ah, you're in Peary, aren't you?
Still, yeah.
Yeah, thought so.
I probably wouldn't do this. Um,
What do you think of the fuel
well,
prices?
I'm not paying attention to them. Why are they going up again?
Yeah, they're going to go up like by 40%.
Oh well, just means more people are going to look into getting at least hybrid cars. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fucked that, there's all these cars that are going to go to fucking waste because, but oh well.
I'm beginning to not trust this diagram. There's something I've learnt whilst going off of diagrams, and it's the fact that some of the time they're not the most accurate things in the world.
Yeah, I don't know who used to draw those things. Like, I think there is if you're using like 5 or 6 different people with different drafting tables, I think there's a measurement of error of like 10% or some bullshit
Yeah, yeah, and
from
it's
between.
it's annoying because trying to get the accuracy of everything is an actual ball ache.
Yeah, it would be, especially considering, like, you know. But in saying that,
Maybe it's 5 meters? Yeah, 5 meters.
see,
That's so
one of the other
weird.
one of the see at least with diagrams, you don't have the issue of it getting larger at the sides and stuff.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of the word now. Basically, if you took a picture of something at the middle, the sides would actually be slightly wider. It's the distortion of some description. I can't remember what the
Hmm.
distortion itself is called.
See, the problem is with the 900 is that it has a bottom half of its nose and then it has the top half of its nose. The top half is where it really gets overly complex because
Yep.
there's like at the bottom, for instance, there's one, two, three, four, five sides you've got to account for just on the bottom. And then on the top, like I'm gonna have to account for maybe one, two, three in two different spots, and then the two lines. So four, five, and that's not accounting for the fact that that's only the side view. That's not the way it curves down along the sides, which is going to be at least another for 3 points. So if we account
Do
for
keep
that,
in do keep in mind, like one of the things is basically um on those diagrams there should be a reference point of some description though, because you're going off of like really old diagrams, aren't you?
well, this one was
Back
actually
from draft.
redrawn. This one was redrawn recently.
Yeah. Do you have the redrawn or do you have the original?
This is the redraw. This is
That could be what's causing you the issues. Is the redraw due to because I think like I said, when you had like 5 or 6 people using a drafting table, they'd get the like 10% indiscrepancy. You'd
well,
end up having like just
these
to make so for builders and that they actually have a reference size that was put in by the one person.
Well, this was only done by a very dedicated hobbyist, and they only did it to so they could build like a scale version in 187 scale, and that was it. And that was mostly because the diagrams that we did have weren't very good, and this is proven more evident by the fact that when I went out to talk to one of the guys who was in Islington workshops when they were actually building them, these
Mm.
engines, he said, "Oh, when they submitted the build to the workmen, they basically said, here, this is what we want you to build. This rough sketch on a napkin."
Uh,
And
huh.
the juniors, it was the junior draftsmen that were actually the ones in charge of it, and they had a reputation for not being the most mechanically minded people in the entirety of the workshop, and nor did they like the idea of doing drawings. They were only put there because they had spare time on their hands. So they said, no, well, just get them to do that instead, whilst we think of something for them to do. So they did, and this inevitably ended up, well, um,
Being
they inevitably got like really bored, so they just decided to scribble or whatever it was on the paper, and then someone thought, "Oh, that's really good."
like, let's be honest, it worked though, didn't it?
Well, with the 900 class construction, not a single one of them were the exact same. They were
So
all
the
they were all different. They were all different dimensions, different bloody screw holes, different electrical equipment. The only thing that was stock standard about them were their brakes and the engines that were in them, and that was about it.
I'm guessing that's because at the time they were using had a standardized system.
No, they built them one at a time, and each one got progressively better. They essentially built these diesel engines the same way they built their steam engines in the US. It's ironic because the brakes actually came from the US, if I remember correctly. They're Westinghouse type air brakes, but the engine on the inside is an English Electric system, which was copied over from another loco from the UK. The brakes on the bogies, if I remember correctly, were copied from an American design from Baldwin and Pennsylvania Railroads, or one of the railroads in the US on the sort of north coast. And yeah, they just said, "Oh yeah, just can I copy your homework, bro? Sure, bro. Just make sure it looks a little bit different." Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like the classic. Yeah, just make sure people don't know that you copied it.
In fact, I we haven't found the correspondent notes between Baldwin Locomotive Works and the SAR, but what we assume is that they clearly sent the SAR engineers over to the US to not just study the designs, but also talk about sort of copying them. And that went as well as you'd expect. The 900s actually had a reputation for cooking their wiring when it got above like 25-30 degrees on the insides of them.
Mm, that's a bit weird, but
No, no. Well, the problem was is that the I assume you're watching the video.
no, I'm not. I'm walking at the moment.
Okay, so going from the cab of the locomotive, roughly about where the door is here, there's a giant control panel for the electrics, and then that
Mm-hmm.
connects to the control panel on the inside of the cab, and that runs down to the wiring, which actually travels underneath the engine, not on the top of it. And the heat, when it gets hot, um, because the system runs just underneath where the engine is, the wiring gets really, really, really hot very quickly. So, and it's not helped by the fact that the housing for the wiring is just this, hollow metal sort of rectangular cylinder that runs along, or not cylinder, rectangular box that just sort of runs along the entire loco.
Mm.
So whenever it gets really hot, the hot air flows actually or flows onto the actual, metal sort of compartment where the wiring sits, and it slowly cooks the electrical fittings or
Makes
electrical
sense
wiring.
to me. Like, it just,
Because it turns the entire shaft, if you want to call it that, into a literal oven,
yeah.
and progressively and slowly cooks the plastic that's covering the
So it turns
wires.
into a plastic slow cooker.
Yeah, essentially. So the engineers decided, well, shit, what do we do? Well, we could put it just behind the paneling that's uninsulated. So they tried
Uh,
doing that. They got the same exact result as before, and it got hotter as a result. So they tried their best to insulate the whole sort of, shaft underneath the loco where the wiring sat, but that only delayed the inevitable. Mind you, though, it delayed it by about, a few months, but then they had to keep replacing the wiring on the inside of it. They did eventually think of a method of essentially whenever you turned the air conditioning on in their later versions, the air conditioning flowed down the shaft to keep the wiring cool.
huh. Yeah, well,
I mean, that's one way of doing it.
yeah, that is.
But
You too.
did that solve the problem? No.
No, it just kind of
It
put a
worsened
band-aid
it.
on it.
It's just literally put a band-aid on it and said, yep, that'll do.
Yeah, put a band-aid on the broken leg. That's fine.
But I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, that's your problem, not mine. But it is your problem. You're the one in charge of fixing it.
What does the sound you made? Look. Praise the Lord. Uh,
I can hear that you're home.
yeah, I have to turn on my computer.
By the way, I tell you this. This one tool completely changes my view on CAD Sketcher, and that's the bevel tool, where you can take 2 points and make them into a curve. And oh my god, it is so satisfying not having to make so many vertices. It
Yeah,
really
that's
is.
kind of like when I mentioned it because we saw you having trouble with beveling. So we knew that was how to solve your issue. You just had to stop and listen to us for 5 fucking seconds.
Yeah, I really should have done that earlier.
Huh?
I said I really should have done that earlier.
Yeah, you're just more stubborn than a fucking mule in heat.
Yes. And I fucked it up. Come on, I want this to go the other way, and it doesn't want to go the other way. Ooh, 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 ooh. No, no, that's not going to work. Okay. Oh. So that has to go out like that. Okay. Yep.
Like that, and also, you know how you're trying to make holes and stuff?
Yeah.
How much easier is that now with it?
A fuckload.
Yeah, we knew what your issues were. I'm just doing a few pictures before I do anything else because, like, I'm trying to pack to get ready to leave, and like,
Don't do that, you
I'm
stupid.
going to need to have a break. I'm going to end up wanting a whole day to myself where I do fucking nothing once I move.
Sounds like a good afternoon.
Uh, but I'm not that fussed, but I do wish David was here helping me a bit more. But can't be helped when he took a load of stuff and whatnot up, and it's just cheaper to not go back and forth like a old wrinkly dong in a fucking house.
Why isn't that working? It should be working, it's not working. Come on, do what I want you to. Maybe I have to make that the central point and this the... bring that there. And then bring that there. And then... do I want to bring that further down or not? By the way, did you know that there was an episode of Sesame Street that got banned back in the 1970s?
No,
Apparently, children got so scared of seeing the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz that there was this whole shit show about it in the media at the time, where they just went on this absolutely relentless attack campaign against the whole of Sesame Street at the time for scaring their kids by putting the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz in there. Because they were like, oh, my children were terrified of seeing the actual Wicked Witch.
uh, like, look, it's one of those things that because of the difference of time and shit. So you got, like, let's be honest. Some of the, like, let's be honest. Looking back at the Teletubbies, fuck, that shit's creepy.
Yeah, I know. Holy shit.
And I used to love that show. I'm like, the fuck was wrong with my head? The fuck was wrong with my parents? Let me watch that fucking
And
those
just
TV demons.
don't forget, never forgive.
Yeah, wow.
I wish there was a way to dissolve whole sketches in CAD Sketcher. Unfortunately, there's not yet, and it's really pissing me off. And if there is, I don't know the tool exists.
What you not able to do?
How do I delete like sketch lines, like sketch lines that I don't want anymore?
I am
Because
not sure.
you have to delete them individually, like their points and their vertices and shit. You've got to like do that independently. And oh, That's not where I wanted to go. And of course it shifts it to a plane where I cannot reach it. I have reached it, and I have proven myself wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Do I just want to... Yes.
But yeah, like heck, the house is in a weird state at the moment.
The question is, how weird?
Yes. Look how cat. Like the cats are fucking all over the fucking shop because they don't know what's going on. They're carrying on a bit. Yeah. Hello, test.
Yes.
Ah, cool. I just changed over, so.
Come on, do what I want you to. Yes. That's close. And then you there. And then you there. And then you go down further. Come on. There we go. That's better. Yes. Beautiful. Alright, okay. And then... Um, hmm. And then I'd want one here, one here. And then I want that. And then I want to move this here. Then I want to move you to about there. Then I want to move you here. And I want to engorge that. Yes. Visible. Yep. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes. There we go. That's better. Do I want to bring that out more?
That looks like it was done freehand.
Huh?
That looks like it was done freehand.
What sketch?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's a proper thing. I don't know how they did it. I think the guy that redrew it actually went out and did like proper measurements of the actual 900 itself. So there could be some credence to that. I just wish it would do what I wanted it to do. Which it's not, because it's a piece of shit.
I'm genuinely surprised you didn't find the middle and make a mirror tool and use the mirror tool.
Well, you can always like make the diameter the exact same when you finished it anyway. There we go. And now I need a line going from here to here. Look at that. Yes. Look at that. Alright, diameter 500, which that'll be about right. And diameter's about 500 there. So 500. Oh my god. Well, so that would be closer to like 11. Yeah, 11. Okay, we'll go with 11. Then, how far apart are you two? Distance. 3 meters? We'll go 3 meters. What about you two? And distance. Okay. So I'm going to say 3 meters on that too. No, that's wrong. Good night, Gran. What time is it?
9:30. 3.
9:30? Cool.
Yeah.
Let's say 2.5. No. Okay. Because that's clearly wrong. So maybe it is 2.6. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's 2.6. Okay, that's some odd measurements. Oh well, I shan't complain. What about between here and here? Distance. There we are. Oh, where did it go? Here it is. Okay. Entities, constraints, mesh. Boy. Why the fuck did they do that? Oh, no, that is correct. Okay, cool. Alright, and bring that over. Alright, you separate section. Alright, okay. So we have our nose. We have that, and then we need to tip this. Rotate. Okay, so 0. And then that needs to be -90. And then brought to there. And then brought up. So that'll be about there. There. No, that's not what I wanted. And where's this? This plate, that's the one I want. Oh yeah! It's getting there. Right, okay, now I've got to do the side part of the nose. Well, that doesn't work now, does it?
Been a while since I've played this, so I'll probably end up seeing how it plays at the moment. It's apparently loading.
Oh, that's why it's not working. Oh, fuck. Maybe I can do this in sculpting. No, I don't think I can. I think I'm going to leave this till Friday.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Oh well. I shall try and see if I can't get this nose to be a little bit more accurate. I've already gotten the side, like the front piece of it. That's good. That's golden. Perfect. But it's this front top part of the nose that's really killing me. I will think and sit on it. Well, I'll be off.
Right.
Take it easy, Jack.
See ya.